Appreciate it.
Jake, we're going to put you in the middle.
All right.
Before we get very well started here, we're going to present the MVP trophies. And Dan Novikov, the chairman of the Cotton Bowl Athletic Association, is going to present the outstanding trophy for the Sanford Trophy as the outstanding offensive player. Dan, have you got the trophy over there? And we'd like to present that to quarterback Jake Coker. Congratulations, Jake. And to present, do you want to get the other trophy? You already got it? Okay. Present the outstanding defensive player of the game. And this is the McKnight Trophy, and this goes to Cyrus Jones, who is our defensive player of the game. Okay, Coach, would you like to make some opening statements before we take questions?
Well, the first thing I'd like to do is thank all the people from the Cotton Bowl, Dan, Rick, the entire committee, first class bowl game, first class city. We've had first class hospitality the whole time we've been here, and I know our players really appreciate it. I'd like to congratulate Michigan State's team on a fine season. I know their players and coaches work awful hard, and even though we're really, really happy that we were able to come out on top tonight, we also appreciate and respect, the kind of team they have and the kind of season they had. I'm really, really proud of our team. I think last year when we came to this game, we were happy just to take part in the game. I think this year we wanted to, sort of take the game, and really thought our guys had a vision of what they wanted, and everybody paid the price for what they had to do in preparation. And there was no circumstance in that game out there today that changed anybody's feeling about how they wanted to compete and how they wanted to play. So with that, I'm just very, very pleased and proud, and happy that we get a chance to play in the national championship game against a really, fine Clemson team. I thought this was a great team win for us. I thought Jake did a great job, but we made some big plays on offense. Defense certainly played well. The interception before the half was a big momentum swing for us, I think, in the game. We scored on special teams, and with Cyrus' touchdown, which was, kind of broke the game open. So I think this was a great team win for us, and I'm really, really proud of this team and our players. The focus that they had for this game was completely different than we've ever had before, and I think it paid off for them. And we're looking forward to try to do the same thing for the next game.
Okay, we'll take questions. Start on the right-hand side.
Nick, when you played these guys 5 years ago, the score, the people from outside look very similar in some ways. What, in terms of the physical and the competition that was out there, how different was this Michigan State program than what you saw 5 years ago in the Capital One Bowl today?
Well, I think that Michigan State's program has improved and kept growing, and I think Mark and his staff have done a great job of getting better and better players. I think that, we made some big plays in the game today, and I think that was the difference in the game. But it could have been 10-7 at halftime, which, tells me that, they've got a really good team and a really good program. And I don't like to make comparisons, but, I see a lot of improvement in quality of player, size of player. They got a really good defensive front. We struggle to run the ball against them. Fine quarterback, good skill guys. I think our defensive front probably affected the quarterback a little bit, so that made a difference in the game and his ability to operate. But I think they have a really good team and a really good program, and I see a huge difference in the 5 years.
We've got a question about halfway back on the left.
Mike Rada, WBMA Birmingham. Cyrus, you heard Coach mention the punt return, and you kind of did the Walter Payton hesitation step, and then you put on a heck of a move. What was going on with that move? And, Coach, you ever seen anything like that before?
Yeah, I see him do it in practice. And he's done a great job. I mean, we've had really good punt returns this year. Unfortunately for us, about half of them have been called back because of penalties, but Cyrus has done a really good job all year, of fielding the ball, which is the most important thing, and being a tremendous threat with the big play that we've had several of this year.
Cyrus, what was up with that move?
It was just something, you know, I grew up doing. You know, my favorite player growing up was Tavon Austin, a guy I grew up watching from Baltimore, you know, just really explosive with the ball. He had moves similar, and I kind of pat my game after him growing up, and those moves I get kind of from him, so you can credit him with those.
We got a question in the right rear. Put your hand up so that you can, thank you.
Right. Nick, Pat 40 from Yahoo Sports. You said there's a completely different focus than we've had before. Can you kind of amplify what went into that?
Well, I think the players learned a lot from what happened in the game last year. You know, I was not always pleased with the way we prepared for the game. Maybe we're a little bit too complacent, and I take responsibility for all that. But because of the result and the bad taste of losing a game when you had a chance to, in a playoff, and maybe be in the first playoff, we weren't quite ready to handle bowl game versus playoff game, whatever. But this year's team was totally focused on the game. I mean, I let them decide what the curfews are, 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I mean, the whole time we were here, it was total focus on winning the game, and that was the most important thing, and there wasn't anything else that, you know, it wasn't a bowl game to go have a good time. It was, you know, we want to play well in this game, and I certainly think we did that.
Question all the way towards the back on the right side. Put your hand up so the coach, thank you.
This is Mark Tracy from the New York Times. It's for Coach Saban and for Cyrus Jones. You know, tracing his trajectory as a player, he's really grown a lot over his years at Alabama. And I was wondering when you saw, Coach, when you saw kind of a change in obviously his production, but also you know, his development as a player. And Cyrus, I was wondering when you felt you kind of maybe something clicked.
Well, Cyrus has always been a good player for us. I think he played when he was a freshman, even though he was an offensive player at the time, and did some good things. And we certainly felt like, you know, he could be a really good defensive back. It probably took him a year, I'd say, to really learn and have confidence in how to do the things, what was expected of him, how to anticipate things. He's a bright guy. He really learns well. He understands football. And I'd say, you know, he's always been a good player. So it's not like, you know, all of a sudden he just became a good player. He's been a good player for us. Now he's improved throughout his career because he works hard, he pays attention to detail, and he goes about things the right way, and he's getting some very good results because of it.
We've got a question on the left side. Oh, I'm sorry. Pardon me. I'm sorry.
You know, I think it's kind of similar to what Coach Saban said. You know, coming in, being an offensive player, and making that transition, it was tough at first. You know, also being a young guy, but just with the support of my teammates and Coach Saban and Coach Smart believing in me, that I could be a good defensive back, and just trusting them that if I just follow their lead and just do the right things and work hard, then I could be a great player. You know, and I just followed their lead and did anything I can do to try to help the team. So it's all a credit to the people around me, the results I'm getting right now.
Got a question on the left side, right here, about 2 rows back.
Bill Bender, Sporting News. Jake, you were able to hit the big play in the passing game time after time tonight. So what were you seeing in their defense, and you know, how's it feel to make all those big plays in the passing game?
You know, we have a lot of respect for Michigan State's defense, and they played a hard physical game, and you know, we just got a lot of athletes on the outside, and Calvin did a great job of, you know, just getting open, making plays, and he makes things a lot easier on me, you know, a lot easier than it should be, and you know, he's one heck of a player, and so are all the other guys out there, man. They just got open, made plays, and you know, made me look better than I should have.
Question on the outside right.
Ben Jones with the Tuscaloosa News. Jake, Coach D'Antonio talked a little bit and said it sounded like, or it looked like you guys were trying to work some of the edges over here, work some of the edges in the secondary before going deep to kind of soften them up a little bit. Was that part of the plan? Could you start to see them soften up after the first quarter or so?
You know, they made some changes, but I think, you know, we went in there and I think Coach Kiffin called some plays and adapted throughout the game, and you know, ended up calling plays that were open, and we made plays, and you know, Coach Kiffin I think he did a great job, and just happy he's on our side.
Got a question on the right? Put your hand up.
Daniel McFadden with NBC Sports. Jake, both teams combined for 7 punts before your scoring drive. On your 50-yard bomb to Calvin Ridley, what did you see on that play, and how much could you see him? He was covered by like 2 different defenders.
He made a move on the safety and got vertical and got by him, and I just threw it up to him, and Calvin does what he does. He went up and made a play.
Well, I think that the way they play when you catch them in a certain coverage, which we had caught them in before, and their safeties end up having to cover the guy in the slot. And, we had one open before, and I just said we're going to go back to that and, make their safeties cover our guys in the slot. And so the next time we did it, that's when we hit the big play, and I think that was a big momentum swing, and we also hit it several more times in the game.
Question on the front.
Ryan Schuling, Team 92-1 in Lansing. Coach Saban, the first plays of this game, Derrick Henry didn't touch the ball in the first series. He's carried the ball 44 times in games in the past. How much of what you did on that opening series throughout the first quarter, second quarter, was scripted, and how much was adapted to what you were seeing on the field?
Well, we knew it was going to be difficult for us to run against Michigan State. First of all, they have a good front. They do a really good job of stopping the run. The way they play in the secondary, their guys are very aggressive against the run, which is a good thing. So we knew that we would have to throw the bubbles and the smokes and the outside perimeter stuff and try to get them blocked on the perimeter to be able to move the ball effectively. And I think, a couple of those first drives that we had, we sort of stopped ourselves. We'd be going along, and when you're doing that, you're really kind of nickel diamond. You're making 7, you're making 9, you're making 5, and then if you get a penalty, it kind of throws you off course. And that happened a couple times early in the game. But once we settled down, we hit some big plays on them, which was really important. But we kind of knew going in, those are run-pass options. So Jake reads, what's the box? Can we block them? Do they have the numbers outside, and do we have the angles to be able to block the people on the bubbles and the smokes? So, and I think he did a great job of reading it, and that was effective for us early in the game. Now, some of those plays, if the box was right, Derrick Henry would have got the ball.
Question on the aisle, about halfway back.
Lynn Henning, Detroit News. Nick, without disparaging these guys, Jake has had an ongoing perception that there was a vulnerability, probably because he's got a Heisman Trophy back alongside him and such great receivers and a great line. But given his percentages on passes this year, the fact that he's a 70% guy, is it a little bit surprising to you that he has been underestimated and that he would have had this kind of game tonight?
I wasn't surprised at all by the game he had tonight. He's pretty much done a good job all year long in terms of whatever we've asked him to do. He's not a selfish guy at all. He never complains about we don't throw it down the field enough, or he just tries to do what he can do for his team. I think that's why he was elected captain by his teammates, and he's respected so much because of his toughness and his competitive spirit and how he's a real team guy. So tonight he had to make the plays because they were there, and he certainly made them. But I think in each game that we've asked him to do that, he's come through for us very nicely.
Got a question on the aisle left side.
Cyrus, Mike Rada, WBMA Birmingham. They showed a picture of Connor Cook on the video feed on the scoreboard after a screen pass in the third quarter, and you could read his lips, and he said, "They're effing everywhere." Did you sense that their frustration level grew throughout the game, and how proud are you of that defensive front, that front seven?
It's a blessing to have those guys up front. It's we work hand in hand. I mean, they count on us to do our job covering, and we count on them to get pressure on the quarterback. And like you said, you can kind of sense their frustration a little bit, and see it in their faces. And it definitely gives us a little bit more, hunger to keep going after them, knowing that they're getting affected by what we're doing, and it just makes us go at them even harder. And I think we did a great job tonight.
This will be the final question for our student athletes or coach.
Jake, this one's you connected with O.J. Howard a couple times tonight, and it seems like he'll either get 5 catches or he'll get none. And what kind of conversations have you guys had during those games when he isn't getting targeted?
OJ, he handles it really well. He, you never hear him complain, never hear him, say you should get more balls to him. He's a team player, always has been since I've been around him, and all he ever does is congratulate whoever's scoring, or or he's blocking for him, or just doing the right thing. So he's a guy that's really special to our team, and he really helps us. Helps the mentality of the team. We got everybody's focused on the team, and he's another big piece.
Okay, gentlemen, congratulations.
All right, thank you
very much.
Thank everybody here in the media for doing such a great job of covering our team. Our guys get a lot of positive self-gratification from what you do, and even though you think I don't like you, I really do appreciate what you do, and I do like you, so thank you.
Best of luck, Coach.